Pythagorean theorem, lesson 24 notes, example number 6. What is the length of the missing side? If necessary, round to the nearest hundredths. All right, let's start by labeling these two figures. Okay, so for A, that right angle points to the hypotenuse. So 64 has to be C. Let's call 28A and X B. For B, that right angle points to the hypotenuse. So 17 would be our C. This time, let's call X the A and 15 B. All right, so let's go to A. Plug in what you know. 28 squared plus B squared equals 64 squared. Go ahead, pause your video and get all that written down. Okay, because we are solving for a leg, we need to take this to the other side. So I'm going to have B squared equals the hypotenuse squared minus the leg squared. Hypotenuse squared minus the leg squared. Since B squared is by itself, I can go to finding the answer by taking the square root of both sides, because the opposite of squaring something is the square root. So these would cancel out. Okay, so I'm going to take the square root of 64 squared minus 28 squared, and we get that big long number. So let's write that down. So B equals 57.5499, and put the ellipse. All right, now because it's that type of number, we have to round it. And the directions, it says to round to the nearest hundredths. So the B is approximately, the hundredths is 2 decimal places. So will that be 57.55 or 57.54? Well, the 9 would make it go up 1, so 57.55. B is approximately 57.55. So our final answer is about 57.55 centimeters. Go ahead, pause your video, and get all of example A written down. Okay, example B. Plug in what we know. We're solving for A, so that will be A squared. B is 15, so 15 squared equals 17 squared. We're solving for the leg, so we need to take that 15 squared to the other side. So A squared equals hypotenuse, so 17 squared, minus the leg, which is 15 squared. So A squared equals 17 squared minus 15 squared. We have A squared by itself, so we can find the answer by taking the square root. If you haven't picked up on it by now, it's the same steps over and over and over again. All right, so these cancel out. And put that in our calculator. Clear that out. So I take the square root of 17 squared minus 15 squared. We're finding a leg, so we're subtracting. And it has to be larger number minus the smaller number. If you would put in 15 squared minus 17 squared, it's going to come up with an error. All right, so the square root of 17 squared minus 15 squared is 8. So A equals 8. All right, so our final answer is 8 decimeters. Go ahead, pause your video, and get that written down. Okay, if you have any questions on example 6, please let me know.